first of all, the darkness is in different, different ways, different types of darkness. There's the one that is just direct and obvious witchcraft, where children are being introduced to witchcraft. There are witchcraft schools, there are witchcraft accounts on Instagram where you can learn how to cast spells. I was doing some research, I saw there's witch school, there's Hoxtown School of Magic, there's Innovating Witch School, there's Fiddleheart Academy of Witchcraft and Wizardry, and they present the whole witchcraft thing in a very attractive way. There are many others, of course, but everybody is fighting for the attention of our children. Okay. There's also darkness in the form of sexualizing children, pedophilia, and as a matter of fact, are you aware that now this LGBTQ plus, I don't even know where all the letters and all the numbers in the rainbow now, but they're now saying that pedophiles shouldn't be called pedophiles, but should be called child attracted persons. And you know where that is going, because soon you won't be able to put a pedophile in jail, because if that person identifies as a child attracted person, then you'll be a bigot. You're just not being open-minded by not accepting their own sexual identity. So just imagine where this is going. There's, of course, darkness in the form of gender confusion, leading to depression. I've heard recently many stories about children who are committing suicide because they first thought, okay, they were gender confused. They wanted to transit to a different gender, started receiving hormones and treatment, and then along the way found out that this is not what they want, couldn't go back to where they started from, just, confused. And instead of these children being treated for mental illness or being counseled, the systems in those countries rush to give them hormones and, in the name of supporting them, help them to transit to who they are not. And at the end of the day, these children become very depressed. Some are committing suicide. Some are just, angry with the world. It's really terrible. Of course, there's darkness in the form of bullying, drugs, social media pressure, most of which at the end of the day are leading to depression in our children. And many parents are losing touch with their kids. They just can't seem to break into the minds of their children anymore, children and teenagers. But it's not limited to teenagers, because even children now are facing a lot of social pressure, from I'm better than you, I have more than you, because even children now have social media accounts, unfortunately. So here we are. There's no hiding place for our children anymore, unfortunately. The death of innocence happened a very long time ago, and we are dealing with the postmortem at the moment. Okay, so just to quickly establish that. The main issue here is that Satan is in a battle for your child's soul, your child's will, your child's intellect, your child's emotions, your child's thoughts, the seat of knowledge, the seat of decision making, because he who has access to the soul will have access to the spirit. So this is what the enemy is battling for at this time, and he's not joking. He came ready, he came armed, but we will not be dismayed, because even we have arsenals through the power of God, so we will not be dismayed. Okay, let's go on. So I also want to mention quickly, before we go into the issue of this weaponizing, that there's a conspiracy of darkness against our children in these times. There's a conspiracy to steal innocence, to destroy their moral compass, and to kill their conscience. And this is really important, because the Bible says that in some versions it says that the spirit of a man is the candle of the Lord, or the lamp of the Lord. But I like Amplified, because Amplified says that the conscience of a man is the lamp of the Lord, with which he searches into the inner bellies. Now, if someone's conscience is dead, because that conscience is still your moral compass, that, okay, this is wrong, okay, what I did was wrong, I need to make amends. But when a child gets to that point where that moral compass is not there, that conscience is not there, how do you begin to steer that child into agreeing that what you did is wrong? The lines between wrong and right are now blurred. It's all a matter of perspective, because now everybody has their truth, as opposed to holding to what the truth is. Everybody says, this is my truth, this is your truth. So no matter what you say, it's a matter of perspective and angle. It's all about who can argue better for their own statement, for their own opinion. That's where we're getting to now. And the Bible also says in Psalm 18 that it says, for thou will light my candle. The Lord my God will enlighten my darkness. And that's because God enlightens our darkness through our minds. Even how many of us hear God by hearing like a voice? Most of us hear him through our minds. You see, when the mind is stolen, when the enemy has completely infiltrated the mind, how do our children hear God? How does he light their darkness? Using their soul, using their conscience. And so this is why the battle for the soul is so hot. It's so hot in these days. Let me quickly mention another Bible verse that will be anchoring our discussion on. In 1 Timothy 4:1-2, it says that the Spirit makes it clear. The Spirit makes it clear that as time goes on, this is the Message version, because this was the version that really broke it down for me. It says the Spirit makes it clear that as time goes on, some are going to give up on the faith and chase after demonic illusions. In other versions, it says seducing spirits. These demonic illusions are put forth by professional liars. These liars have lied so well and for so long that they've lost their capacity for truth. Which is that which is what King James would say, their conscience has been seared with a hot iron. Now, this is where the enemy is trying to take our children to a place where they've lost the capacity for truth, where they've turned the truth of God into a lie, and they honestly cannot, when you're speaking truth to them, they honestly cannot relate. They can't relate with what truth is. They just tell you that's your opinion. Everything is up for negotiation in this current age, in this current way. You tell somebody, I say, how do you know I'm a man? I'm telling you, I feel like a woman. Do you know how I feel? You are not me. So you don't know. And children too are picking up these things, and you need to get out of anything. I understand now that in some places, children are identifying as animals. And during classes, they are pouring. I mean, teacher is talking about, okay, let's do addition and subtraction, and a child is going meow, meow, meow in the class, and you can't do anything as a teacher. Isn't that just crazy? You can't do anything as a teacher because the child identifies as a cat. You have to accept it. So so there's all of that darkness that is going on. And basically, I would say that the enemy just wants to put tribal marks on our children. When he says that the conscience is seared with hot iron, just picture like where animals are being labeled and they put something, they put the tattoo thing, the iron in hot fire, and then put it on the animal's skin, which just pretty much puts like a tattoo in their skin. The enemy, which is like a tribal mark, really. The enemy is trying to put tribal marks on our children to cause them to take on his own identity. So that even when they look in the mirror and they see themselves, they will see his tribal marks there and identify as whatever he wants them to identify with. So this is the battle that we are facing.